Hey everybody, so this is Tessa, and I thought I'd just quickly go over some of the questions that were asked for this week. Um, are there any sort of competencies or practice behaviors in the learning agreement that you were struggling with? Um, so I remember when I was going through it, I specifically did struggle a little bit with finding research based ways to incorporate things into my practicum experience, but my AFI and I were able to really kind of brainstorm ways in which I could conduct some research and then share with that kind of research with my peers and then talk about how it's being incorporated in my practice. And just finding some peer-reviewed ways in which to incorporate the psychiatric rehabilitation in with the social work. And so I feel like that we were really able to just kind of brainstorm through that and come up with a specific learning activity for me to do in regards of that. Um, but basically what's happening at my practicum for these initial weeks is I just kind of fell into my role. I ended up doing the work days that I'm doing. And just kind of getting into it. The training has been really good, going over things with the managers, and we specifically work together as a team in mine in the CBRS work that I'm doing. And so, communicating with the team has been a really, really big and important one, especially in these initial weeks as the schedule kind of is getting flexed around with other new hires and things like that. I feel like I'm really settling in, I'm pretty comfortable in this position. It's not really a lot different from it's a lot similar to what I've done in peer support, but with just more added hours. We are usually there with the kids in the school full time, on the days that I'm there, so I'm with them for several hours at a time, and sometimes I'll have different clients during the day, but it is a little bit different. It makes the notes a lot longer, so that has been interesting, doing the notes for several hours instead of just hour-long sessions. My schedule's working out really well. I've enjoyed being able to have the 2 full days and then with the additional no hours. And I feel like my supervision, everything's going really well. And my schedule, I feel like I'm managing well and that it's working out, and it adds all to a good balance between school, my other job, and then my practicum experience. Everything seems to be balancing out well. Yeah, and so that's pretty much everything. And I know that some of you guys it specifically mentioned that research would be a difficult one, that it might be a difficult one for people to do, and I think it's just good to get peer-reviewed articles occasionally, or pick how many you need to do throughout the semester with your um, field liaison. I just call them my supervisor because I think it's easier to remember, but with my supervisor, who, for this practicum experience, and I feel like that was the best way to handle that, and to kind of brainstorm that learning activity. I did notice that these learning activities are very, very extensive. It did take me a long time to write up mine, but with the work of my supervisor, and when we talked about it and then when we reviewed it and everything, it seems like everything's going really well, and he approved it, and we were able to just come up with everything that this practicum's looking for, and I'm really excited about the experience.